March comes in like a lion.
Trump adjusts his Congress.
Hottest club in the OC.
Lead, what is it about? I'm Gabby Trebina.
And I'm Jake Funk. These stories and more on this edition of OTVX.
Hi, I'm Kara Holden.
And I'm Erin Knightley.
And you're watching OTVX.
Ellen Hart Jr. and you're watching OTVX.
What's up, Oldham County, where the funny at? You gon' make us get up early, cameras, OTVX, bringing you the news and the funny all rolled into one. Tell us who your colonels is. OTVX #1. We got what you need. What you need. What you need.
OTVX.
Tuesday night and early Wednesday morning, severe storms shocked the Midwest. Impacts included hail, wind gusts of up to 60 miles per hour, and heavy rain. Power was knocked out and trees and limbs were spread all across the county. We may not have had many snow days this winter, but storm days may not be out of the question.
President Donald Trump addressed the Congress this week. His speech outlined his plans for the future of America as he laid out broad proposals for healthcare, defense budget increase, job creation, and immigration. A 2-minute standing ovation for Karen Owens, the widow of SEAL team member Ryan Owens, punctuate the evening event. With emotion, Kentucky former Governor Steve Beshear gave the Democratic response to Trump's address.
According to CNN polls, 7 out of 10 people who watched said the speech made them feel more optimistic about the direction of the country.
Do you think you take risks in life? You won't be sorry if you come down to the Board Game Club. Zach Phillips sits down at the game table.
Last Friday, during Club Pictures, many students at our school were surprised to learn that there is a board game club that takes place in our building. I decided to try putting everyone's curiosity to rest and find out what I can about this unknown club. The club's founder and leader, Mr. Hatfield, explains why he decided to make a club about board games.
Well, I have a really big passion for board games, and I know that there are some students around that they haven't found like a sport or a club that interests them, and my kind of geekiness comes out in the classroom, so they usually want to hang out, and the best way to do that is board games.
First-year participant James Clark gave a few of his reasons as to why he joined the club.
I joined it because Mr. Hatfield was my teacher last year, and it's just something I didn't have time for last year, so I figured I'd try it out this year, and it's pretty good.
Board Game Club is comparable to a secret society due to how few people know about it. However, Mr. Hatfield states that this is partially by design.
So it's not really spread out just because board games takes a long time to explain the rules typically, and we don't play your average board game. It's not like Candyland or Monopoly. It's things like Love Letter and Dominion and stuff like that. So having a few people around, I can play one board game, explain it to them easily, and they'll be able to play with me. So if we do expand, which I'd really like to expand, I'd be able to have multiple games going out, and my senior board game club members would be able to explain the games to them.
According to James, one of the biggest appeals of the club is the friendships that can be made.
You can kind of get some inside jokes going on, and basically it's kind of like a close-knit group. Not very many people are in here, but that's mainly because not many people know it is a thing.
As you can imagine, choosing a favorite game can be like choosing a favorite child to somebody who loves them as much as Mr. Hatfield does.
That one's really rough because we got so many and we play so many, but my favorite to play with everyone is Pandemic. It's a cooperative game, so we either win together or lose together, and more often than not we probably lose together, and that's usually way more fun at the very end, is getting down to it and coming down to the very last turn.
The Board Game Club meets every Monday after school in room 234 and is open to everyone. If you want to try something new, join another club, or are just looking to have some fun, then consider joining the Board Game Club. Zach Phillips, OTVX.
With the year coming to a close, we put our gaze towards next year with the brand new scheduling format. Students are eager to find out more and ask questions of our administrators.
I noticed there were lots of questions regarding LEAD, so I gathered up students' questions and got the doctor herself and other administrators to personally answer them.
Why are we making this change?
All right, so we have added LEAD to the schedule and are changing the master next year for a lot of reasons. I don't even know where to start because we're doing this for so many reasons. First of all, the model that we have this year for study hall is probably not the most efficient use of school time. Right now we have about 75% of our kids sitting in a study lab during at least one class. And that's going to be a different use of time depending on what it looks like for each kid. So we have some kids that might really use that time that are busy with extracurriculars and sports and really make efficient use of that hour. It might be independent workers who don't need a lot of help from their teachers and they can use that hour really well. But then other students are not using that hour as efficiently as they could. You don't have access to teachers that you need help with because, for instance, your study lab teacher could be a math teacher, and if you need help writing APA style on an English teacher, they might not be able to help you out with that. So it's not the most efficient model that we have here, and like I said, we've got 75% of our kids in a study lab. We have like over 35 study labs in the master schedule. So looking at that and then looking at for an opportunity to provide intervention during the school day. We have ESS before school and after school, but not every kid can go to that. Some kids are involved in extracurriculars that conflict with that time. Other kids don't have transportation, right? They ride the bus, so they're not able to stay after school. And we don't have ESS for every class. Not all teachers can stay before and after school for help, and we don't have ESS for, like I said, for every single class. A lot of AP classes we don't offer ESS for. And you all that are in AP classes know that sometimes you need extra help or would love to have some extra time with your teacher to get help with your work. So we looked for a way to provide that extra time during the school day for every class. And not just extra time for help with those subjects, but also extra time for enrichment and extension. And what we found was this lead period would be the best way to do that. We're modeling it after some really well-known high schools throughout the country that have done this and done it with great success, and we're really excited about it. So the first thing, expectation in lead, is going to be, your work first. So if you need extra help with the class, you'll be going to that teacher's room and getting extra help. But we're also going to have tons of other opportunities for you as well. So another reason we're making the change is to help create a better sense of belonging here at OCHS. Right now, there's many of you that have to go straight home after school because either you have to work, you have a job, or you have siblings to take care of, and you're not able to get involved with the clubs and sports and extracurriculars that we have here available for you. With LEAD, we will be bumping those up to 5th period, and we're going to have those during the school day. So you will be able to get involved in a club and something here at school. The expectation will be that every single kid in the building is involved with something here in school, and it's going to be available to you during the school day. So that's another reason we're making the change.
Is it definite for next year, 5th period?
5th period. Yes, LEAD is a definite for next year, 5th period. It'll be after lunch. And the reason we chose 5th period is because it does not conflict with the Arvin Center schedule, and we want them to have those opportunities as well. And 5th period is the only period of the day where we have all of our students in the building. So 5th period next year.
Do I have to participate in an activity every day, or can I just chill?
The expectation is going to be that all students are participating in some type of activity every day. And that could be very different for each student. It depends. If you are an AP student and you need help with a lesson that you just learned, you can go work with your teacher. If you are a part of a club and your club is meeting on that day during LEAD, then you would go meet with your club. There is going to be certain assigned areas where you'll be able to go and do research if you're working on a project, or really whatever else that you need to do in order to ensure that you're successful in the classroom. But there will be expectations that you are doing something that is productive to your education, or doing something that you are involved with, club, drama, an athletic program, something like that at the school.
Does this mean there will be no more after-school club meetings?
Some clubs may still meet after school. It just depends on the club sponsor schedule, and sometimes maybe a 50-minute period, which is the length of time that league will be, might not be enough time for that club to meet, and so there could still be a few. Depends on the schedule of the club, the teacher. But I would say that most all clubs will have the ability to meet during that time, so you don't have to do that before or after school. A lot of our students here at OC belong to many different organizations, and we realize that, so we're going to create either a Google form or some way for your teachers and club sponsors to communicate to ensure that we're not scheduling tons of clubs to meet on the same day. We want you to be able to have the ability to still do everything you do now, but have time during the school day to do it. So if you do have multiple clubs meeting that you're a part of on a day, there would be the flexibility and freedom for you to maybe attend one club for the first part of the lead period and then attend the other club for the second part of the lead period. But I don't anticipate that being an issue.
How will Arvin Center classes be affected?
Lead is really not going to affect very many students all in terms of limiting what they can do with schedule options. If through those scheduling presentations you feel like there are things that you can't work in or not, then as always students can individually sign up with their guidance counselor to review their schedules for the next year with that.
How will co-op be affected?
Co-oping for next year. If you are a senior and you have met all the academic requirements for graduation and you have room in your schedule for co-oping, lead should not impact your schedule at all in terms of co-op opportunities and opportunities to leave school and pursue a co-op at the end of the day.
Who made this decision?
We took a lot of time making this decision. It wasn't just me. I don't make unilateral decisions like that, so we talked about it with the entire administrative team, with the whole staff. We talked about it with parents and PTSA and SBDM. We talked about it with ASB, and we talked about it with like some national scholars that are like very well versed on this subject. So we went to a couple of conferences and talked with some really big experts on this. So we talked with lots of different people before we decided to make this change, and we are super excited about it.
I want to earn 7 credits every year. How will I do that?
Kids are concerned about being able to earn 7 credits. You do not need 7 credits. Okay, we're actually, the graduation requirement will eventually change because we'll be running on a 6 credit day. So do not worry about being able to get 7 credits. The only kids that we have figured that really are going to need them next year is if you are doing an Arvin Center, band, and world language. And we are going to accommodate you during lead by offering some performance-based credit classes. Okay, so do not worry about getting 7 credits. If you want to earn an extra credit, there's going to be opportunities during 0 hour, and there might be, like I said, some performance-based credit classes during lead and maybe some online classes. But again, you don't have to have 7 credits. You will not need that to graduate, so please do not worry about having to get 7 credits.
If I can't get transportation to other classes, how do I get 7 credits?
0 hour is a class that's going to be offered before school. It won't be every class. It'll be just a few. It'll run 7:30 to about 8:20. And if you want to do a 0 hour class, you will have to provide your own transportation. There won't be any buses or anything running. You will have the option to leave early at the end of 6th period if you do 0 hour. But again, you'll have to provide your own transportation for that.
Rumor has it that we're going to have homerooms next year. Is that true?
We are going to design with teachers and kids a advisory homeroom system. I think we'll probably call it a house system. Trinity is very well known for having a system like that at their school, and it's really wide open. Again, we haven't designed it yet, but the idea would be that you would be with a small group of students probably around 20 kids that you would loop with or stay with your freshman, sophomore, junior, senior year, and probably, if this is what we decide, stay with one teacher those 4 years throughout high school. And that would be your advisory homeroom. And then we could have like 4 homerooms that make up a house system, and you can compete during pepper rallies, you can compete for participation in ball games, and do lots of different things. And again, the goal for that is to have every kid know a small group of kids that they're really close to, that they see on a regular basis, and that all kids have one teacher that they're really close to and that can be their go-to person.
Can anything be proposed for lead period?
We are looking for a lot of input from you all to determine what kind of clubs and enrichment activities we offer during LEAD. If you are interested in serving on the LEAD design team and giving some input and helping design some of the classes and things we offer during LEAD, you can do that. But as far as can you propose anything, you can pretty much propose anything. Now, I've had some questions about a NAP class, no, you can't do a NAP class. And you can't do like a do-nothing class. So no, I mean, it has to be something enrichment and academic. So we're not going to have any napping classes. I don't know where that came from, but no napping. But pretty much anything else that's, legal, that you can do during the school day, you can propose. So we really want to get student input on that. And it's absolutely possible for kids to be able to lead a lead class. That would be great. So we are open to all of those ideas.
A garage band took the OCHS stage last Saturday and made their teenage dreams come true. Hannah Willett tells us more about Racing Minds.
How's it going, guys? We're Jake. We're Jake?
We're Jake Powers.
We're Jake Powers, Nick Burdett, Harrison Willard, and Jack Harrison, and we're Racing Minds. We're a small group that formed about a year ago because we want to just get together and have fun, and that's what we've done for a long time. And today we're going to play for you all.
Nick Burdett, Jake Powers, Harrison Willard, and Jack Harrison formed a local school band, Racing Minds, on November 20th, 2015. They recently played at the Comedy Gala on Saturday, February 25th. Trish and I decided to get the inside scoop.
Yeah, we're mostly rock, I'd say.
Yeah.
Rock and roll. Yeah, old rock. I don't know, mostly. I like punk rock too.
We've had multiple names, and this is the one that is stuck. And if something better comes up, we will change it. It's stuck to the wall.
We can't find a better name. Okay, well, Jake sings, obviously, most of the time. Me and Jack sing sometimes. I'm mostly lead guitar, but then I switch to bass sometimes. Harrison plays bass and drums most of the time, and guitar. Jack usually plays piano, drums, or bass or guitar. It really depends what we need.
Yeah, everyone plays a bit. Originally, he wasn't even a part of it. He came along a little bit later. But I mean, we're glad he did. He's like family.
There's an inspiration agreed on across the board for this band.
Foo Fighters.
Yeah, Foo Fighters.
Some people may argue that there is a fifth member in the band, Jack's hair.
The flow. Like I look at Jack and I'm like, wow, that is some. Wow, I'm gonna get mauled by a lion. Oh wait, that's Jack.
He does brighten up the days a lot.
Hannah Willett, OTVX, bringing new music to your ears.
1, 2, 3.
Drama students take the stage to present monologues, which will make an impression.
You can see it in my face. And yet tonight, I feel like I'm only 17 again, and I've fallen in love. A first boundless love that lights up the sky.
Drama classes are performing monologues ranging from humorous, dramatic, and emotional.
Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. I come to bury Caesar, not to praise him. The evil that men do lives after them. The good is oft interred with their bones. So let it be with Caesar.
The auditorium is the place to be tonight for first impressions. Current time is 7 p.m.
A sec to chat. Super. I just wanted to see how you were, that's all. You are? Good, good. I'm glad that you're fine, however, I'm not. No, we can't do this in the morning. We have to do this right now. No, I'm not drunk. I'm confused.
That wraps up the news for this week. I'm Jake Funk.
And I'm Gabby Tribina. Guidance will be coming into English classes next week to start the scheduling process for next fall. So start thinking about your future classes. Have a great weekend, OC.
Hi, I'm Kara Holden.
And I'm Erin Knightley.
And you're watching OTVX.
Ellen Hart Jr. and you're watching OTVX.
What's up, Oldham County, where the funny at? You gon' make us get up early, cameras, OTVX, bringing you the news and the funny, all rolled into one. Tell us who your colonels is, OTVX #1.